What's up guys, and welcome back to the Kamui Dimension. Today I want to talk about the super juicy debate I had on the Cloud Ninja podcast with BAARA, Free Game, and Mellow XO, which was whether or not Isshiki's data is inside Code's white karma seal, and if Code will gain Isshiki's abilities. This wasn't their fault, but during the debate I never really got the chance to explain my stance on my points properly, because Discord simply didn't register my voice half the time I tried talking, for whatever reason, and so it really just became a BAARA versus Mellow debate. So since I never got the chance to explain my points there, I wanted to explain them here. This is not a call-out video or anything, I'm just explaining my reasoning behind my stance. For context, my stance was that Code most likely will not gain Ishiki's abilities, and he probably doesn't have his DNA either, and BAARA agreed with this stance, whereas Mellow believes that Code will both gain Ishiki's abilities and that he has his DNA inside the Karma Seal. So I wanted to address the points BAARA didn't make that I wanted to, but never got the chance to. Starting with Code having Ishiki's abilities. Just from a writing standpoint, I really don't think they're gonna have Isshiki versus Isshiki via Code versus Kawaki, like when the Naruto Shippuden anime gave us 10-10 versus 10-10. They're gonna have them have different abilities for a battle for the sake of a better story. But ignoring that, we have seen absolutely nothing to indicate that Code has Ishiki's abilities. Code's white karma was described as pure power and nothing else. It was made clear that Isshiki was not compatible with Code for Code to be a receptacle for his soul, so it seems kinda wonky that he would contain his DNA. This also makes no sense from a writing's perspective, because the whole point with Amado's character right now is that he's trying to use Kawaki so that Kawaki can theoretically gain Ishiki's powers and abilities, but without Ishiki's soul. Why would he even need Kawaki, or have even cared if Kawaki died against Isshiki, if Code literally had access to Ishiki's powers and abilities, but does not have his soul? He would just use Code instead, so that makes no sense. And like I said, Code's white karma is described as being nothing more than pure power, and has nothing to do with Isshiki himself. But even ignoring that, I want to address Mellow's points. Mellow's points thrived off of, I think the Karma Seal works this way and that way. I think, not something the series stated. It's fine to make a theory about how the karma works, but your argument shouldn't be based on extrapolating statements. It should be based on concrete things in the series. It was stated to us that the Karma Seal slowly extracts the Ishiki's DNA over time, and when it is fully extracted, the host body would have been overwritten by the Isshiki. It implies that these processes just go hand in hand, as when the data is extracting, it's overwriting the host data at the same time. Now you could say, maybe Ishiki's DNA is just stuck inside the Karma Seal, but can't extract for whatever reason, but then I have to question why Ishiki's soul does not just stay inside the karma, but not extract the data, similar to the situation Momoshiki is in now. Why would Ishiki's DNA be fine and dandy inside there, but his soul can't stick around like Momoshiki's? That doesn't really make sense, and that's pretty inconsistent writing. I would also have to question why Code could draw on Ishiki's power if the data had not extracted onto Code's body if the power was stemming from Ishiki's DNA, because Boruto and Kawaki could not access the abilities of Momoshiki and Isshiki until their DNA had been rewritten a significant amount. Before then, they just got some basic karma abilities, but nothing specific to the Isshiki. Let's continue on that point. Mellow kept bringing up how Code can tap into the knowledge of Isshiki Isshiki, and I'm gonna explain why that is an extrapolation that he is making without proper evidence to support the claim. Code does not say he's tapping into the knowledge pool of Isshiki. He says that the Ishiki's battle experience gets overlaid onto your body and makes you a seasoned warrior. I'm gonna make a comparison to Sage Mode here, just to illustrate a point. Sage Mode makes you a better warrior. Even if we ignore the power boost, it heavily improves your reaction abilities and sensory capabilities, and overlays your body and just makes you a better fighter as a result. Naruto does not look into a notebook from nature, it just makes his reaction speed faster among other benefits, and the karma could work similarly, where it just makes you a better fighter, but that does not mean Code is looking through Ishiki's playbook, telling him to juke left here and punch punch kick punch here or something like that. He implies that it just takes over your body. Code is an idiot Isshiki worshipper, so it doesn't sound surprising at all that he would just say Isshiki experience overlays your body and that makes you strong. But that does not mean he's looking at their knowledge pool. We're taking the words of an idiot Isshiki worshipper and twisting them around. I don't think that's a logical way to argue. Next point on that, the Karma Seal clearly gives you abilities independent of those of the Isshiki who gave you the Karma Seal. For example, Isshiki cannot absorb ninjutsu, he can only shrink it. But Kawaki and Jigen could absorb ninjutsu, and Kawaki could do this long before his DNA was ever rewritten enough to grow the horn or use Ishiki's other abilities. It's just a karma ability. Now, Code's karma does not have the ability to absorb ninjutsu. It's just described as power, and part of that power could just be the whole seasoned warrior thing, where it just improves his reactions or whatever it actually does. And that's basically what Code says. He said that's why you get stronger. So it could just be a basic karma thing, independent of the Isshiki. And I have another reason why it actually makes no sense at all that it is the Ishiki's knowledge pool that they're tapping into. Code is pretty dumb. I mean, Isshiki was pretty smart and a methodical fighter. Even while tapping into karma's true essence, Code does not start fighting like Isshiki at all, or even fighting smart. He still keeps fighting just like Code always does. On the other hand, Momoshiki was not this intelligent fighter who looked like he had a lot of fighting experience. The whole plot point of the Boruto movie was that Momoshiki just had a lot of power from eating chakra pills, but he had jack shit for skill and fighting experience because he never trained and never had to fight anybody with skill. And so Naruto and Sasuke completely outskilled this dude, but they could not do that to Isshiki. Boruto fights way more intelligently and skillfully than Momoshiki did. So it seems kinda weird that Boruto would become a better fighter from tapping into the knowledge of an Isshiki with crappy experience and skill, but Code would not become much better of a fighter from tapping into the knowledge of a much smarter and methodically fighting Isshiki. That seems completely backwards. It doesn't make sense at all. So in my personal opinion, the argument seems like one big extrapolation from a statement that is not what the statement says and just contradicts all of the tangible evidence we have seen. To me, there is nothing that makes it more logical that Ishiki's DNA or abilities are available to Code based on what we've seen. And this is not even talking about all the evidence I have that Amado probably made Code's white karma seal too. I made a video about this before, but let's add another reason why that Isshiki was probably fake. Sasuke's Rinnegan could see Momoshiki's soul talk to Boruto in the Momoshiki arc even while he stopped time or whatever he's doing there. In other words, Sasuke can see souls. Ada could not see Momoshiki talk to Boruto in chapter 67, when he is clearly outside of Boruto's body talking to him and healing him and stuff. In other words, Ada cannot see souls. The time thing does not matter because Sasuke could still see it while time was stopped, which just means that Ada's dojutsu does not grant her better vision. She can't see unordinary things, she can just see more things at once. It's kind of like Gaara's third eye but more extreme. So why was she able to see Ishiki's soul when he talked to Code then? She talks about how Isshiki griped at Code and tasked him with so many things. Whether Ada knows it was fake or not does not matter. The point is, she could see Ishiki's supposed soul, but could not see Momoshiki's soul. Don't you find that odd? And there's tons of other reasons too that I talked about in that video. I'm not trying to call out anybody in a negative way like I said. I just wanted to make the points I never got to make in the podcast. I could be completely wrong about this, and that is okay. I just think this makes more logical sense. If you haven't subscribed already, just subscribe to the channel. I see the analytics. Most of you guys are watching several of my videos but not subscribing, so what are you doing here? Subscribe and like the video, it costs you nothing, it makes me a happy guy. And if you guys disagree with anything I said, let me know in the comment section below, but that's it for today, so have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!